worries are going extinct, disappearing like invisible ink. Put it all in a poem, can't recall how it goes. I wrote it down in a book, I think.
So happy to have King Tuff with us. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's not often do I meet people from Vermont. I know a few people from Vermont. The Rice brothers, Eugene and his
Okay.
brothers are from Vermont, from American Mile, and now you're
Okay.
from Vermont.
I am. It's a glorious little state.
Is it required to have a knowledge of maple syrup and things, or just music? Or
I'd say so. Yeah. It's required to like maple syrup at least a little bit, I would say.
I'm from Wisconsin. I get the cheese questions forever.
Sure.
It's just what
Sure.
they do.
Yeah, we have a lot of cheese here as well. So,
Oh yeah, you guys are competitors in California. It's like a whole gang
yeah.
turf going on with cheese.
I mean, the more cheese, the merrier for me.
All right, so let's talk about your musical background. King Tuff, your sound is it's like it's like Wilco meets Paul Westerberg and then all sorts of shenanigans in between. I just love your sound because those are all like my favorites. Every song I listen to yours, I go, this is like all of my favorite music.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't listened to much of either of those people, but that's cool that it sounds like that. um, Yeah, I just grew up listening to classic rock and all that stuff and punk, and that's where all my influences come from.
Who are your top favorites in those categories?
I mean, the Beatles are my all-time number one, uh, basically my religion. But as far as like, the punk stuff, I like the 70s stuff, the Ramones, Television, the Modern Lovers, stuff like that.
That's cool. So Brattleboro is relatively small
It's
where
about
you're from.
12,000 people. Yeah.
So
And
how
it's big by Vermont standards.
now how did you discover music in a smaller town? Like where was your out like how did you find things?
Well, my dad is a big music fan. He grew up, going to all the, seeing Hendrix and Pink Floyd and Black Sabbath and stuff like that. So he was, those records were always around since I was a kid. So I had kind of a head start with that. And then there wasn't a lot going on in my town, but in Western Mass, which is about 40 minutes away, there's a few venues that we would go see shows and stuff. So this was the 90s, so it was a lot of kind of, you know, grunge kind of stuff and that kind of thing. So, we'd have to drive or when I was a teenager, we'd drive to Boston to see punk shows and stuff.
Yeah. WAAF, the greatest rock station ever in
Definitely. I
Worcester.
mean, very informative.
They were
Yeah.
the heavier side, but all that stuff would be on there for sure.
Opie and Anthony.
Mistress Carrie, legendary, really.
Very
All
cool.
right, that's cool. So, what now? Did you find learning guitar to be easy or challenging? I mean, some people just pick it up and boom, they're ready. They're bending notes. They're doing the whole thing. Other people,
Yeah.
it's a whole different.
It did kind of come natural. I mean, my dad bought a guitar for himself when I was in about second grade. He brought home a Fender Stratocaster. I think maybe, hoping one of his sons would pick it up and mess around on it, which I did. And I never took lessons or anything. I just started messing around on it. And, I only would play one string for a long time. I was just, but I just immediately started writing songs on it. And yeah, just kept playing it. I just got obsessed with it. And that's all it takes to learn how to play an instrument is to get obsessed with it and you figure it out.
I play bass, and nothing wrong with holding E for a little while.
That's all you really need.
Which other bass players on stage? I go, wait a minute, he's playing E and A the whole song. Feels so bad.
I mean,
But if it works, it works.
E feels good. That's all you need.
All right, great. So you've got one, two, three, four, five albums, and the sixth is out now called Moo. That's quite a catalog. You're really prolific there, just keeping them cranking them out left and right. How do you do that?
I mean, I feel like it's actually I have friends that have, 20 albums. So I feel like I'm going a little slow. Uh, but I don't know, it's just like, again, it's like I'm obsessed with writing songs, so that I just have to do it. So it's not hard. It's what I love to do. So I just keep doing it. And whether people are paying attention to it or not, I'm gonna always do it.
And when you like so you're starting a song, and then do you ever have like ideas where you're like, I'm gonna put that on the shelf and come back to it? Or do you just do the whole song and on to the next one? Or how often do you tweak and rearrange and well, this riff might be better on that other song? Like, are you the one of those kind of guys where you
Definitely, I'll have just like little bits and pieces of ideas that collect over the years, and I'll go back and be like, well, I really need a riff or something for this song, and I'll go back and look for something that might fit. Or yeah, some songs come all at once, and those are the best ones usually. That when it's just the whole thing up here is all at once, but others you kind of have to work for. And yeah, occasionally I'll go back really far. I'll be like, that song from 2006 that I never finished was maybe good, and I'll try and work on that, um, which is cool. Uh, but
yeah.
it's definitely funnest when they just come all at once, and I don't have to work too hard.
Do you have any songs you wrote a long time ago lyrically, and then all of a sudden now you're like, oh, that's even more fitting these days, my thoughts of the world back then to now.
I feel like often the songs reveal themselves later on, like what they're actually about. Even this record, it was like I wrote most of this record before I moved back to Vermont, and now most of the songs have come true after the fact. I think a lot of the time I'm trying to manifest things in my songwriting, and a lot of the time they do come true. So they feel like little spells in that way.
So the Twisted on a Train one, the song with the train, that's cool. Like that
Yeah.
video is really fun. I've got Twisted on a Train, that's what I'm thinking of. That's
Yep.
really fun. Like I love songs about trains. That's just my thing. So I'm like, oh, a train song.
Yeah.
Um, is that a true story, or were you Amtrakking it somewhere, or
I was on a train, like an overnight train from Tucson to LA,
oh my God.
and got a little out of my mind, and was just writing lyrics in the observation deck, and I wrote those lyrics on the train, and got home in the morning, and then immediately recorded the song the next day.
I'm just wondering who might have been on that train with you. What
a
was it?
lot of a lot of strange. I mean, no one I knew, but who knows? I don't know. Strange.
Tucson to LA in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's definitely some people
Prob-
watching lyric situation.
Probably some extraterrestrials.
Couple cowboys, some
Yeah,
third
yeah,
shift workers going
yeah.
away.
Uh,
And then tell me about the song. Which other one stood out to me? They're all really super cool. Invisible Ink. That's pretty clever. That's a clever one.
yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of times I'll get a title idea, and then the song kind of writes itself. Like that one, Invisible Ink, just kind of popped in my head, and it just kind of wrote itself. Same with a Landline,
Yeah.
and
What's
that's
that?
another. What's Yeah, I know. That's another kind of manifesting song because now I actually do have a landline because I live way out in the country and I need one. My phone doesn't really work out here.
So from Vermont, you moved, have you always been there or have you lived other places?
No, I was living in LA for about 15 years,
Okay.
and that's actually where I made this record, um,
Mhm.
and my past, four records. Uh,
Okay. East side, west side? I'm thinking of
uh, like,
Eagle Rock looking.
yeah, Mount Washington to be specific, basically
Nice.
Highland Park. Yeah.
Okay. Any run-ins with Billie Eilish? That's her, she's claimed that city, so they say.
Yeah, yeah. I never saw her. she's from Highland Park. I know people that have seen her around. Um, but yeah, I've seen so many celebrities at this point, I can't keep track of them.
Well, yeah, I live out here. I don't really see that many, but sometimes because then you don't even you kind of you double take. I guess that looks like well, maybe it is a famous person at the grocery store. I
Yeah. I remember that when I first moved out there, I went to Whole Foods and Fabio was giving out free samples
oh really?
and no one was paying attention to him and I was like, I guess I really live in LA now.
That's okay. I wonder if he was a side hustling or his own product. I can
It
only
was it was
imagine.
yeah, it was like his product that he was promoting. Um yeah.
So
But you
we
just
can
get
put
used to it.
that's Fabio's a brand ambassador. Good to know.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So do you have connections to Jack White or something like that? Or
Um well I played at Third Man once and I met
okay,
Jack and
that's must have been
there is
fun.
a King Tough Live at Third Man record out there. But
Yeah.
also, a few of my albums were produced by a guy named Bobby Harlow, who is in a band called the Go, who Jack White was also in that band early on.
Oh, crazy. Okay. And then you're on Sub Pop or we're on Sub Pop or both.
Uh, uh, I was on Sub Pop. The
Nice.
My new record's on my own label called Muck.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Have you played shows with the Super Suckers?
I've never played with them. I remember them, from when I was growing up, uh,
I feel like
seeing
you
their.
guys would be the perfect double bill. Like listening to the Moo, I'm like, oh, this is Eddie Spaghetti all over this. I'll have to make sure I reach out to him on the gram and he won't even know who it is. I'll be like, you got to hear this song, dude.
Yeah,
Those guys, it sounds like you guys. It's that same, indie just butt kicking rock.
yeah. Let's
Those
go.
riffs, you're like, hey, this riff is in my head all week. Thank you for that.
Very
That
good.
kind of
That's
song.
the that's the that's what it's meant to do.
Do you have any songs that you wrote where you're just like, oh my God, I just outdid myself, even though I have a million songs, but this one is like, wow, this is cool.
I mean, I definitely I try and always have that feeling when I write songs that it's when I write a song, I'm like, I want it to feel like this is the best song I've ever wrote, you know? Of course that doesn't always happen, but definitely during this record I was very excited about the songs and yeah, um I really like Stairway to Nowhere on the new one. I don't know. A lot of times my favorite songs are the weird ones that no one else likes. But yeah.
This is Ask the Expert. King Tuff is here. He has many, many albums out, so go devour them all on your streaming services because they're great lyrics. They rock. They got some mellow moments, but they're just jamming. Really cool stuff. Really good lyrics, like witty story songs and catchy phrases. So thanks for all that. And how did the name come about? Like your is that your stage name? Where did that come from?
It's just a stupid name that came to me when I was 18 years old and it stuck. It's KT are my initials. It's obviously a reference to a different king of old and of ancient times. But yeah, I just I just wrote it on a piece of paper when I was 18 and I needed a name for my solo project that I was starting
Yeah,
and it just stuck.
I
And
think it's
I
good.
neither want to be king and nor am I tough, but that's the name I've got.
And you spelled it Tuff, just like very gangster.
It's just a
Very
cool
hip hop.
it's just a cooler
Yeah.
spelling.
So when you do shows, like what are some of your memorable shows you've done over the years where you walked into a venue and maybe you're like, oh, this is going to be disaster. And then it was the greatest show ever or
Mm,
something, like you just never know what you're going to expect when you walk into a place maybe you've never played before, like what's
mm.
going to happen.
Yeah, God, there's so many that I don't. They all kind of blur together. I don't remember really which one was where, and But I really like a lot of. I have fond memories of playing like more like DIY shows, like maybe it's a warehouse space or like an American Legion type show where it's just like really crammed and sweaty and everyone's just jumping all over each other. Those are always the funnest shows rather than like playing a big fancy amphitheater or something,
Mhm.
which feels a bit more disconnected from the crowd. I like it when everyone's kind of on top of each other.
So you've done both. Have you done festivals too, where you're
Oh
like the
yeah,
2 o'clock slot and then the headliners at 10?
yeah. I've done them. I've done them all. I've been the headliner. I've been the opener. It's like, yeah. I played for like 10,000 people, and I played for 10 people.
Oh
Um,
man, you've seen
and
it all.
oddly the playing for 10 people, I you can get more nervous than playing for 10,000 because the 10,000 it's like so disconnected. It's like there's no way all of these people are going to like this. So it's like kind of less pressure in some weird way. But playing for 10 people, you're like, well, I really got to impress these 10 people. It's a little, it's more intimate. So it's a little more pressure.
You can see the whites of each other's eyes. It's intense
Yeah. Yeah.
versus the way out in the back.
I think the scariest thing to do as a musician is to play like an open mic at a cafe. That is like, what I'm most scared of.
Did you do much of that in your early years?
Heavens no.
No.
A little bit. Yeah. But no, not a lot.
So let's see. So King Tuff, many albums, a long career. What is the plan for Moo, the latest release? You're going to tour and
I'm
then
leaving on tour tomorrow. So we're
wow,
doing
okay.
a full US tour, doing the whole thing. And from there, we'll just see what happens. If the people are asking for more, we'll come out and do more. If they're not, I'll just go back to the drawing board and make another record.
I know you have an independent station in Vermont. Are they supporting you? They're kind of like us, like a independent radio station. We got to
There's
make
a
sure they,
there's quite a few kind of
yeah.
community radio stations, and yeah, I've talked to a few people, and yeah, it seems like maybe they're playing my stuff here and there.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, I used to be a DJ on the station in Brattleboro when I was in high school,
Oh, cool.
which was really fun.
So you're going to be in Ojai, which isn't far from Ventura County, at the Ojai Valley Women's Club. Oh boy,
Oh
it's gonna be a
yeah,
lot of that sounds like a party. That's May 1st, and then South Pasadena on April 30th.
yeah,
So you'll be out west with us. And then if people want to go down to the Casbah, the legendary Casbah in San Diego on April 29th, I know that's another one. That's going
yeah,
to be crazy. That'll be a good show. All of them will be. Those are some fun venues, like small and intimate, I guess, right? You'll get it
yeah,
right in
yeah.
there.
I mean, I lived out on the West Coast for a long time, so
Yeah.
a lot of my best shows are out there. Really good crowds, and I always love playing out there.
What California venues do you recall that you were just always like to go back to if you can?
I always loved playing in Big Sur.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, the first time I ever went up there and played at um, God, why am I blanking on the name of it? Uh,
A cabin of some sorts. No?
I don't, I'm completely blanking on the name, even though I've been there a million times. They used to do festivals at one of those Fernwood, and first time I played out there, it just blew my mind. It was really fun. Um, but yeah, I do have great shows down in San Diego. I'm excited to play this new venue in South Pasadena, run by promoters called Sid the Cat. Ojai, I love Ojai. I actually played at that women's club another time, so I'm excited to come back.
Hmm.
I love it all.
Is that American Legion like the Ojai venue, more that type of a vibe?
It's more that vibe, I would say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know if
There's
people
the
are going to be like sweaty and jumping all over each other at that one, but we'll see.
I feel like Ojai, they would get your sound. They're kind of rustic and
Yeah.
independent up there. They're gonna really, I think that'd be the perfect thing. So with 6 albums, like how do you pick a what is it, 2 hour set? Like how do you whittle it down? You know?
I'm not going to play for 2 hours. That's a little
Okay.
long.
Okay.
Even my favorite band, I don't really want to see for more than an hour. I get tired of standing there. Um, but my music is pretty high energy, so I can only go so long. But
Yeah.
no, I play. I usually whatever album that I'm promoting, I'll play that whole album, and then all the classics. So yeah, I'll go back and into the catalog and just pick out some gems and play those and yeah.
And how often do you get Freebird?
Um
You
I've
know, there's that
definitely
one
gotten
person.
I've gotten my share for sure.
You're like, if I leave, I'm done. You know?
If
What's
I
the new
leave here,
Freebird? What's there's got to be a new song people yell out. I feel like that one is a little dated. The young
yeah, I
kids
mean,
of the world need to bring up a new one. I don't know.
I feel like people that shout it probably haven't even heard it at this point. They just know they're supposed to shout it. They've never actually even heard the real song.
Well, yeah, you're right. You know, and they have the whatever band t-shirt. Do you know that band? No, my dad gave this to me. Well, that's at
Yeah,
least your dad has good taste. I'm happy about that.
yeah.
Now, do you still play a Strat or what guitars have you moved on to and what is it? Because you do have a sound to your music. Like you got
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like that riff. You really sound what's your rig setup and everything?
I'm a Gibson SG player uh, for most of my life, and I'll have the Marshall half stack on this tour, so it's gonna be loud.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
oh hi ladies, bring your earplugs.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right. So there's the Gibson Garage in Nashville. I got to get you in there.
Oh,
Right. They
I'm
do shows.
oddly not going to Nashville on this tour, but I'll have
Ah,
to make a special trip back to go to the garage.
right. They always get their press releases. They're always doing something at the Gibson Garage.
Oh, okay.
All right. So on the new album, promote it a little more. What would you say if someone was like, tell us about your new album?
I would say that it's joyful music. It's meant to promote joy. I want people to have a good time because it's a harsh world we're living in, so we need an escape. And for me, that's rock and roll and fun, joyful music. So I want you to be able to listen to the album over and over again while you're, driving driving with the windows down, going to your favorite swimming hole, or
Yep.
uh, or maybe you're putting up some drywall, or you're painting your house, or doing some gardening.
Yeah.
It's good chore music.
It is upbeat, and and you by the second round, you're going to be singing the words. As those songs are that like right there,
Yeah,
you have that.
that's I try and make catchy little numbers.
And do you have a favorite song of all time, or maybe one or two or three where you're like, "That's my song. I've loved it
Oh
since I
my
was a child," or whatever?
God. I mean, that's a really hard question. The songs that I loved when I was a kid, my favorite song when I was a kid was "We Built This City on Rock and Roll" by Starship, which I feel like people now think is probably one of the worst songs, but I loved it as a kid. So I still get done with that one. Uh, Another song I loved as a kid was George Harrison, "Got My Mind Set on You." That was like a early record that I had that I would just play over and over again.
Mm.
Um, and gosh, I don't know. it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll by AC/DC, because that
They
just
weren't kidding.
it's really true. And
I like
it's
it.
got a bagpipe solo. How can you
Yeah.
go wrong?
Yeah, that is. I think My Sweet Lord, that's my George favorite. I
There you
think.
go.
Well, this is so great. I'm so glad hopefully we're introducing you to some new fans who might not know about you. And congratulations on the new album, Moo. It's out now, everybody. So check it out and you'll have a clean house after you listen to it. I'm going to have to listen to it more.
It's true. It's true. You'll be cleaning, you won't be able to stop cleaning.
Cleaning and rocking with
Yeah.
King Tuff.
Yep. I got to come out with a new line of cleaning products.
The magic eraser from King Tuff.
Yeah.
Magically, whatever this thing's. I'm kidding.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll get to see you live. And I'm glad you took time to see. Congratulations with everything. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being on Ask the Expert. King Tuff, everybody. Check it out.